The U.S. government has made a historic move by seizing almost 1 million barrels of Iranian crude oil bound for China. This case is significant as it involves sanctions violations related to the Iranian oil trade. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, which the U.S. has designated as a foreign terrorist organization, stands accused of shipping over 980,000 barrels of oil. What makes this case even more intriguing is the involvement of multiple entities connected to the IRGC in disguising the oil's origin and selling it to China. The profits from these oil sales have been channeled to support IRGC's questionable activities, including the proliferation of weapons and support for terrorism. In a related development, the company operating the oil-carrying vessel, Empire Navigation, has admitted to conspiring to violate sanctions and has incurred fines amounting to nearly $2.5 million. Meanwhile, tensions are brewing in the Pacific as China has announced that its troops are on constant high alert following the passage of U.S. and Canadian ships through the Taiwan Strait. The Chinese People's Liberation Army's Eastern Theater Command has responded by closely monitoring the situation and maintaining vigilance. This move comes as a response to China's long-standing claim to Taiwan as part of its territory. The U.S., on the other hand, maintains diplomatic relations with democratic Taiwan while officially recognizing Beijing. Tensions have escalated as the U.S. and its allies continue to conduct freedom of navigation operations in these waters to assert their international standing. Shifting gears, China has emerged as a major player in Brazil's electric car market in 2023, accounting for nearly half of the country's electric vehicle supply. From January to August, Brazil imported a total of 3,367 electric vehicles from China, amounting to 47.1% of its electric car imports, with a total expenditure of $59.73 million. This year, Brazil has acquired a total of 7,152 electric cars, representing a significant shift towards sustainable transportation options. However, gas-powered vehicles still dominate Brazil's roads, commanding a 75.1% market share, while electric cars hold a more modest 4.75% share. China's role in Brazil's electric vehicle sector underscores the global impact of the electric car industry and the growing trend toward eco-friendly transportation alternatives. As President Joe Biden arrived in Vietnam, his primary goal was to establish a comprehensive strategic partnership that would enhance the relationship between the United States and Vietnam. This diplomatic endeavor was part of Biden's broader strategy to strengthen bonds with China's neighboring nations, positioning the U.S. as an appealing partner in the face of China's increasing assertiveness in the region. A significant aspect of Biden's visit to Vietnam was the announcement of measures aimed at assisting Vietnam in diversifying its sources away from Russian arms purchases. This approach not only offered an alternative to China for investments and development, but also addressed concerns about Vietnam's strategic partnerships with both the U.S. and China. While China sought to foster political trust with its neighboring nations, Vietnam was increasingly drawn towards the U.S., primarily due to its economic interests and apprehensions about China's military buildup in the South China Sea. This geopolitical balancing act was further complicated by China's caution to the U.S. against targeting third parties in its relations with Asian nations. As President Biden prepared to meet with Vietnamese General Secretary Nguyen Phu Trong, there was speculation about the potential formation of a U.S.-Vietnam alliance in response to China's assertive actions in the South China Sea. However, the likelihood of such an alliance appeared slim given the divergent interests of the two nations. Vietnam placed a premium on territorial sovereignty and resource protection in the South China Sea, while the U.S. focused on the freedom of navigation, without direct security and resource rights safeguards for its allies. Additionally, Vietnam harbored reservations about U.S. intentions regarding democracy and human rights, further diminishing the prospects of a strategic alliance. President Biden's visit to Vietnam was significant not only in strengthening diplomatic cooperation, but also in addressing regional concerns about China's influence. Vietnam, which had limited top-level relations with only a few countries, including Russia, India, and South Korea, viewed the elevation of diplomatic ties with the U.S. as a significant development. Despite the complexities of balancing strategic interests and human rights concerns, Biden's visit underscored the deepening ties between the U.S. and Vietnam, both in strategic and economic terms. The visit acknowledged Vietnam's role as an essential partner in diversifying supply chains away from China, while also signaling the U.S. government's intention to address human rights issues during the visit. Trump defends China trade war, accuses Unselect Committee, and criticizes DeSantis over China tariffs. Former President Donald Trump has reiterated his defense of the trade war he initiated against China during his presidency, describing it as essential to preventing what he called the rape of America by China. In an exclusive interview with Fox News' Mark Levin, Trump highlighted his close relationship with Chinese President Xi Jinping, while emphasizing that his tariffs on China had been effective, bringing in billions of dollars that were used to aid American farmers. However, despite Trump's claims, the Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, reported that the tariffs had not achieved their intended objectives and had negatively impacted U.S. businesses and consumers. Key exports like soybeans and seafood faced higher costs and increased competition, and China's business practices remained largely unchanged. In the same interview, Trump criticized the January 6th Unselect Committee for what he called partisan behavior, alleging that they had deleted crucial evidence related to the Capitol breach. He also took aim at Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, accusing him of siding with China over American farmers due to his historical opposition to Trump's tariffs on Chinese imports. The interview covered a range of topics including Trump's recent rally in Texas, his views on Russia's invasion of Ukraine, inflation rates, and his call for the court-martial of General Mark Milley over the U.S. military withdrawal from Afghanistan in 2021. North Korea marked its 75th founding anniversary with a lavish parade in Pyongyang, hosting Chinese delegates and Russian artists to strengthen ties with Moscow and Beijing amid rising tensions with the United States. The absence of Russian officials fueled speculation about an upcoming summit between Kim Jong-un and Vladimir Putin. Kim has been highlighting partnerships with Russia and China in response to increased military exercises by the US, South Korea, and Japan. However, a major arms deal between Russia and North Korea could impact China's struggling economy due to sanctions violations. The parade featured paramilitary organizations, civilian-style rocket launchers, and Kim's daughter, Ju-ae. Kim's commitment to his nuclear arsenal as a survival tool was evident, though he didn't speak. He met with Chinese delegates led by Vice Premier Liu Guoshang to discuss strengthening cooperation. Tensions in the region have risen due to North Korean missile tests and US-led military drills. Kim aims to create a united front with Moscow and Beijing, but concerns persist about North Korea supplying arms to Russia in exchange for aid and advanced weapons technology, potentially increasing the threat posed by Kim's nuclear weapons. These stories paint a diverse and ever-evolving picture of our world, from international diplomacy and technology to legal battles and political aspirations. If you found this video informative and engaging, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel for more updates on the latest news, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our thought-provoking content. As always, feel free to share your thoughts and comments down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.